you now. I can hear you breathing.
You took your blindfold off. I win. I was in Christine and Nancy's room.
Conjuring, the first film from 2013, is the scariest and one of the best films of that year.
Wait a second. I know what happened. You guys dropped acid, didn't you?
I love the cast, I love Lily Taylor, I love Ron Livingston. After the Saw franchise, James Wan went for, I wouldn't call it a more subtle approach to horror, but definitely a more unique and intellectual. And the editor knows exactly what he's going for, so it just makes for some intense and wonderful scares. Now, with other really lame, fucking horrible horror movies that have come out since that happen to belong to the Conjuring universe, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, The Conjuring from 2013 is the best film in this entire universe, and it's really not even that close. Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are excellent as the Warrens, a very, very fictionalized version of the real couple who were just a bunch of con artists. James Wan really goes for it in this one, with a final 15 minutes that is absolutely terrifying and extremely well directed. Written by Chad Hayes and Carrie Hayes, this marks the first film in, I guess, what's called the Conjuring universe. The Nun movies are both complete fucking shit. I haven't seen all the Annabelle movies, and The Curse of My Sharona is total dog shit. To me, there's these three films, and of course the upcoming fourth. The movie was originally going to be titled The Warren Files, which is really stupid, because who the fuck are they? This movie was released in the summer of 2023, right in dead smack of July. Bold move for New Line, but it really, really paid off. Great word of mouth on this one, grossed over $319 million worldwide on a $20 million budget. James Wan, you are a master class. I love this movie. I think it's one of the best horror movies of the 2010s. It's atmospheric, it's really well acted, the drama hits really hard, the scares are amazing and not manufactured. It really goes for it and allows you to earn those scares. I think James Wan really works best on these micro-budgeted, if you can call $20 million a micro-budget, type of films. There's something about horror movies set in the 60s or 70s, or even the 80s nowadays for that matter, that really lends itself to the environment, the atmosphere, and the setting. This is the scariest Conjuring movie, and in my opinion, it can't be beat.
Now? No, this is not your house. Now, what's your name?
My name is Bill Wilkins, and I'm 72 years old.
Sounds confused. Is he senile?
The voice on this tape is coming from an 11-year-old girl.
Does it feel like the voice is coming from inside you?
More like it's coming from behind me.
James Wan's The Conjuring 2 lives up to its predecessor in my opinion. It's horror at its classiest, and with films like this one and a few others that have come out in the past couple years, horror really seems to be turning a corner after the long-winded, brutal trappings of torture porn garbage. After the success of the first film and the fact that the Warrens are real-life people who have many other haunting experiences to tell, it was kind of a given that this film got made. Taking place quite some time after the events of the first film, Lorraine and Ed Warren are still at it. However, as Lorraine begins to have visions of things she feels are more premonitions than anything else, she wants the two of them to stop investigating the paranormal and focus on being a family with their young daughter. When an old home in the slums of North London appears to be haunted by a demonic presence, the stories and accounts are so bizarre that they spread throughout the entire region, landing all the way back into the United States. Against their promises to one another, the Warrens travel there to give it a go and determine whether it's a hoax or it's a real threat to the family living inside. This film is literally full of scares and surprises. When I say full, I mean it in the very literal sense. This film hits the ground running and never stops. Without spoiling anything, there are moments in this film that are not only frightening and eerie as hell, but are shot and edited extremely well. As with the first film, this isn't just a good horror film, it's a good film in general. However, where the first film tended to feel more dramatic at times, The Conjuring 2 sets itself apart by acting much more like a horror film. Both films start out with a good sense of realism, and then bottom out of that sense by the end of the second act, before going full-on bonkers, batshit crazy at the climax. One can't help but overlook any possible flaws to the narrative, and there really aren't that many, because the film is so much damn fun. James Wan is a master of spiritual haunting storytelling, and this film really represents what he does so well as a filmmaker. He understands the true essence of the situation he creates and puts out on display, as well as knowing that it also has to be fun, frightening, and compelling. Though not as compelling as the first one, there's some truly beautiful moments with Lorraine and the young girl Janet, who appears to be the one being used for possession. The young girl is played marvelously by Madison Wolfe, who in my opinion gives the best performance in the film. She's heartbreaking and also unbelievably terrifying at times.
Does it feel like it's coming from inside you?
No. More like it's coming from behind me. Like I'm being used.
Does it ever say things just to you that only you can hear? What does it say?
It said it wants to hurt you.
When did it say that?
Right now.
Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson both return as the Warrens, and both give fairly solid yet this time slightly campy performances. The beautiful and talented Frances O'Connor gives a great performance as Peggy Hodgson, the mother of the home. The situation of this family and the conditions for which they live in are established perfectly within the first 15 minutes of the film. The pacing is spot on here, having an opening to reestablish our main couple, the Warrens, and then introducing us to the Hodgsons and their situation. The new London setting adds much old style and design to the setting, which makes it more creepy to wander the new surroundings with these characters. There's a scene in particular that focuses on a few separate accounts of activity within the house, all taking place at the same time in different parts of the house, all getting perfect amount of time and focus. We follow one of the young sons as he wanders hallways and ventures to different floors, all the while taking in the eerie and brilliant set design of the haunted house. This is definitely my favorite scene in the film. The use of Steadicam, sound design, and lighting make you nervous just watching it, but you can't take your eyes off it. The Conjuring 2 is a rare sequel that feels energetic and adds to much of the interesting mythos of the Warrens and the paranormal entities for which they investigate. Sure, it's not really the true story. It can't be. Whatever they really took from the actual account, I'm sure plays a nice part in the setup and outcome of the story. For me, taking pieces of real-life accounts, giving them the horror film treatment is not a bad thing, as long as it's directed by someone like Wan. Plus, the real audio of this possession, which you can find online, is frightening as hell, and they did a fantastic job recreating that. This film gives you the heebie-jeebies. Look behind you, or don't. Feel the breathing on your shoulders, or on the back of your neck. Turn around to nothing. This film evokes those real tendencies to manifest your own scenario, subconsciously or on purpose. It's not perfect, has a flawed ending. It does, however, do its job. It scares the shit out of you.
You okay there? Jesus.
I think I hurt someone.
Director Who Cares, who recently directed a loosely connected Conjuring film, I guess, The Curse of My Sharona, takes over directing duties for the masterclass filmmaker James Wan. Your guess is as good as mine. Boy, this movie is boring. I've liked boring movies before, and this isn't a bad movie. That's the most frustrating thing about doing this video. It's not bad, it's just boring. And for a Conjuring film, that's fucking unacceptable. The first Conjuring was a literal fucking roller coaster ride of adrenaline, scares, eerie tension, and earned moments of suspense. Now look, this third entry is well made, and the chemistry of the two leads is still there, but boy, is the suspense gone. This one unfortunately takes the story from the traditional haunted house to a road trip investigation, giving us hardly any eerie set pieces or dread. It only works when they're in a house. Why? Because what do we all have when we get done watching this movie? A house of some sort. To take that imagery with us in every corridor and underneath the bed of our own beds. All that stuff sticks with you. I don't know where Ed and Lorraine are driving to or what highway they're on, but I can guarantee you when I go to that highway, I won't be thinking of The Conjuring 3 and it won't be scaring me because of it. Bodies bending with bone-crunching sound effects are so beneath this franchise, damn it. However, they do it non-stop. I just wanted a scene that kept me up all night like the first two did. So many scenes to count. I get none of that here. This movie's a slog for the most part. I love the characters, goddammit, so I'm not giving up. But here's hoping we get off the road in the next film. Now, I don't want this video to be solely negative, so I want to talk about the wonderful movies that are Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2. Conjuring 1 was one of the best films of 2013, and to that point, possibly the best horror movie of the young decade. Conjuring 2, to a lesser degree, was still one of my favorite films of 2016. James Wan knows lighting, he knows how to move the camera to create and earn those scares. One could call it cheating by creating a eerie, scary atmosphere in a house, but goddammit, they pulled it off 2 times. In the second one, going a little more gothic horror, moving things to London, still worked in the same way, and great performances from both families in both of these movies. The camera work in Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2 are what make it so scary. It's called craftsmanship of a filmmaker. Now, I hate this term when describing filmmakers, but it's not enough to just be a competent filmmaker. Pointing the camera and shooting it in the right direction is not enough for this franchise. It doesn't hurt that both the screenplays of 1 and 2 are much, much better than 3. Part 1 never fucking stops. It's constantly grabbing you by the shirt collar and tugging you around. The last 30 minutes of the first Conjuring movie is fucking terrifying. From the shot selection to the editing to the goddamn performances, it's a masterpiece of a final act. To be honest with you, as we approached the third act, To the Devil Made Me Cry, I didn't even know what the investigation was leading up to. Part 2 has some unbelievably dramatic moments, topped with some of the best sound design of the Conjuring franchise. Now, 3 is a glossy, okay shot film, but when you look at the Conjuring 1 and 2, there's a much different color palette with a grainier texture to the film. 3 is very glossy, like a TV movie, and that fact alone really separates this movie from the other two. Aesthetically, it looks and feels different. I love the fictionalized characters of the Warrens in these movies. I want to see them continue on doing crazy shit, having crazy adventures, but God forbid, no more bogged down court cases. Shit, let's put them in Danvers Haunted Insane Asylum in Part 4. Have it be that all along, one of my favorite fucking horror movies of all time, Session 9, was secretly a Conjuring movie. Hell yes. So as I said, 1 and 2 are some of the best movies of their respective years. And unfortunately, this one is already fading from memory. It wasn't bad, it's literally already forgotten. Now, I'm sorry if I'm being harsh on this film. You don't need me to tell you that the business of movie making is fucking hard, especially comedies and horrors, because they have an effective point that they are driving towards, and if they don't reach that, they fail. If the reason you go to a horror movie is to be scared, you expect to be scared. When that doesn't happen, what are you left with? Making excuses that the movie's still good even though it's not scary? No, that's unacceptable. I've come to love and respect at least the main films in this franchise, and I've got nothing going on in my life, so I feel slighted. Sue me. Do better next time, please, and thank you. So these were my thoughts on the first 3 Conjuring films. Let's see what the Warrens are up to next. Hopefully, they drink our cinema.
I drink it up!
I wanna snap